What's going on, everybody? We're going to keep working on this guy here. There is still quite a bit to do, so I'm trying to get most of it done. I obviously can't move forward until I get everything cut out on our side panel there. That way I know everything fits. And then we'll get to the tubing and wiring, which doesn't take quite as long. Doesn't take nearly as long, and I don't have to keep going outside back and forth to cut the stuff out. So, what we did so far, there's these mounting points on the pump top. You can see on this side, there's two at the top, and then two that are a little bit lower and closer to each other. So those are barely below where this metal case is there, and I figured, oh, if I can find the right screws, I could just drill a couple holes and mount the pump to the side of the frame. And that's what we've done here. So this is nice and solid. It's not connected anywhere else. I didn't want to use the double-sided stick adhesive right here, just in case it's still going to allow it to kind of sag. I wanted this to be on here tight, and it's barely above all the resistors and capacitors underneath it, so it's not actually resting on there. And that way it also shouldn't, the vibrations from the pump shouldn't transfer through to everything else and be loud. Now you can see this is barely touching underneath here, so we'll probably just kind of trim this off just a little bit so there's a little bit of space there, again, for any vibrations or anything like that. So that's what we're going to do there. Now I do want to get I can either get a little bit of rubber, like heat shrink tubing or something, to just kind of slide in between these two spots, because like I said, this is going to be attached to that. And in the other ones, where I've had the pump like over here, that little rubber adhesive is what's going to help the vibrations from the pump not transfer through to everything else. So obviously that's not going to happen here. This is just right up against the metal. That's why I want to put just a little something there. Now these pumps are a lot better. They're just quieter, the DDC versus the DC-12 pump, the ones that I can fit on the inside. I obviously can't do that here. This is the older style with the taller capacitors. So anyway, so we got that installed here. And now I went back and I started to cut out our side panel, which is going to take the longest. Let's see here. So I also cut out the back here to go over our radiator. Obviously the wires aren't going to be coming out the back. That's just to keep them out of the way. So this is the one that needs to be cut out really nice and clean. So like I said, I like to cut out a big section of it, and then I will use painter's tape just to line up and kind of go, cut out most of it, and then I go back and use the sanding bits and stuff to then get that last little bit on each side. So I still got to go a little bit more with that. As you can see, once this is sitting down all the way, the pump's going to barely be sticking out of the top here. And originally I was going to mount this underneath. And if that was the case, I would just cut out a circle here, which would look nice and clean. But I think I might actually feed the wires underneath and just actually mount this to the top. Right here, I made little marks there where I can put the drill the holes to mount this here, just like that. And then we got just enough space in between our metal frame, the fan, and the pump top to have our temperature display about right here. And we're also going to have make sure that it's not blocking this clip here. So I have a bottom vent. It has the 6 clips here, so the bottom ones will be fine. The top one's going to be fine. It's right to the side here. That's why I wanted this pump right in this spot, perfect in between the 2 ports on the water block, and not too far this way where I can still use this case screw here and use that peg there. This is the only one that's probably going to be cut out. So I'll just take that peg off of that bottom vent. It'll still have the other 5. And then same thing with our monitor here. It's going to go in between, or not right next to this one here, so we can still use that one. So that's where I'm at right now. Since I already cut this out, I can't really go back and do like the circle kind, but also cutting out a circle is going to be a lot more difficult unless I have the exact size, like circle. I forgot what those are called, forgive me. You put it on your drill, and it's got a drill bit in the middle, and then it's a larger circle on the outside. But yeah, I think I just want to mount this up top. All this stuff should be sticking out pretty much exactly the same, just like that far out of the top of the case. And then our last thing is going to be to cut out a giant section right here over our DVD drive, and that's where we're going to put our plexiglass with the mirrored film on it. So that's actually what I'm going to do now, since obviously these are not done yet, but that's good enough for now so I can see where everything's going. I still need to measure this one out real quick. That way I can now go back and cut out exactly where I want this, because I've explained this in the past. There's a peg about right here to hold the case on, and one about right here. So if we can, we don't want to cut into those. That way we can still use the 6 screws to hold the case together. But as I've shown in the past on my other builds, this one almost always gets cut out, especially if you're cutting a big window in the side. And having one less is not really going to make a difference with it being sturdy and connected together. So we'll see exactly what we're going to do there. Obviously, there's no point in cutting out farther back here where a lot of the wiring is going to be for all the fans and everything. But obviously, you know, I painted the DVD drive and have the monkey sticker on there. So as long as we just have a section about right here cut out so you can see that, that's all we really need. And then, let's see, we're going to have these 3 fans go to our stock port here, and that's also where we will power our temperature display. And then we already have our wiring here. I've shown this. Our 3-pin connector comes out right here. That's just for our pump. And then the last thing will be UV LED strip. If I have the extra one. I'm pretty sure I still have one. If I don't, maybe I'll just put the RGB lights in there. So, but really the whole point is to have UV, to have it kind of go around this edge, at least right here. That way it's in a spot where it will illuminate our DVD and our reservoir. Like I said, I want to use UV fluid, so that'll make everything really pop. So that's where we are now. Obviously, I'm sorry I'm not going to show a lot of this. I'm just so busy, and I can't really set my phone up and watch me slowly sand this away. That's not going to be very fun to look at anyway. But we will continue back when I've got this cut out, and we'll see if we can show our mirror film by the end of this video. So yeah, other than that, as soon as I get this done, I should be able to get the rest of this done this weekend. So, real excited. Alright, so got most of these cut out pretty well. Sanded these at least so they're not super jagged, so they will have to still be finished off. I'm pretty sure I still need to go back and get a little bit more off where the pump is. I'm doing that one just a tiny bit at a time so I can make sure it's a nice snug fit there. Got this one mostly sanded. This one, I'm still going to cut out a little bit more around the sides, but it doesn't need to be perfect since the fan will be over top of this. Save me some time there. This is the first time I never had to go back and take anything else off for the temperature display. I just cut it, sand it up to my paint lines, and then usually I have to go back, try to test fit it and go, oh, that corner needs to be a little bit more. But no, my little test one here fits perfectly in there. I promise it does. You saw me just take it out. Oh, jeez. Well, I can't do it with one hand. There we go. Bam. Snug fit. Probably go back just with our file and just file it a tiny bit more. I'm pretty sure the display that I have, instead of having the wires both come out straight the back, it kind of comes out the side a little bit. So, but yeah, that's my little test fit one. So that's perfect. Fan, pump, window, radiator. It's probably the most I've had to be out here with the Dremel on one single project. Um, Now, yeah, it could have been better to maybe just cut out one big thing, everything fits there, and then take maybe the plexiglass and kind of cut out around. But I don't know. Just wanted it to do it this way. So I'm also glad that perfectly goes up to the Xbox logo there, so that's nice. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Even though I'm gonna continue working on this, still got other stuff to do. Off camera, I will just, like I said, finish cleaning these lines up a bit until everything fits nice. And then I'll probably go back and sand this and do the, oh boy, matte primer on this side. And that's pretty much it. I'll probably make the window, and then the next part for this one is going to be installing our window and finishing up tubing and wiring. Otherwise, most of that stuff's the same as the last several water-cooled 360s, so I'm not going to show too much of that, but yeah, that's pretty much what we got going. That's how it's going to be on the side. Got our reservoir sticking out, window, pump sticking out. Yeah, I've already explained this many times, so. But yeah, that's what we're going to do for now. I'm trying to keep the videos closer to 10 minutes. I want to get this to a point where I can primer it, and while this stuff is like drying, there's other projects I want to get hopefully done this weekend. I'm going to try to look at the disk drive on the original Xbox that I got. Everything works on that one, except it just doesn't seem to want to quite read disks, and it seems like a sort of common problem that looks like there's an easy fix for. So we're going to try that one. And the Wii, I want to get that out of the clear case and into the clear red case. And I'll make both of those videos even if I don't post them until after this project is done. But yeah, that's where we're at so far, guys. We'll see you in the next part. Thanks for watching.